But James, I'll remind you, because we've spoken about this before, earlier in the year, in February, I've already shown that there's a 21-year-old Palestinian, came on a visitor visa from Gaza since October 7, now in Melbourne. He has on social media already liked posts and shared posts that supported the October 7 terror attacks, that supported Hamas. There were numerous posts. I've shown them on this program. So already people have come in here who do appear to be Hamas supporters based on their social media activity. So what should Tony Burke do now? What happens now if there are people already in Australia as part of the Albanese government's visa program who are Hamas supporters?
Well, you're right to single that out, Shari, because Mike Burgess has made clear in his comments today that even liking or retweeting a tweet supporting these incidents is evidence of concern from a security point of view and would cause that person a problem in seeking to come to Australia. Now, I don't blame Mike Burgess or ASIO for the fact that people like that do appear to have come in under the Albanese government, because we know ASIO can only act when cases are referred to them, and we know from Mike Burgess' comments on Insiders that not all cases are being referred to them. Well, this is exactly why, when you're dealing with a terrorist-controlled war zone, that you should be referring all applications to ASIO, that full security vetting should be conducted for anyone leaving those countries or that region, and that's not what this government has done. So we already have 1,300 of these people in this country already. There may be a risk among that cohort, but there are a further 1,700 offshore who could come to Australia at any moment if the Rafah crossing reopens again, as we all hope that it does after a ceasefire agreement that releases the hostages. Now, what is the Albanese government doing about the 1,300 who are here? Are they going to review any of them? Will they cancel any of their visas if they found to support Hamas? And what are they going to do about the 1,700 who will try to get here as quickly as possible? Are they going to review any of those to make sure there aren't any Hamas supporters among them? They've not outlined any plan to do so. I have no confidence that they're going to do so.
Well, it's a very difficult position because Tony Burke has come out and said that no one is being sent back to the war zone. He said no government in its right mind would send anyone back to Gaza. So what does he plan to do with the people? And we've seen figures today that about 700 have applied for a different visa, a bridging visa, to extend their stay more permanently in Australia. So these are big questions for the government to answer. And James, you know, Paul Kelly made this point brilliantly in his article in The Australian on the weekend. He said at no stage has any minister from the Albanese government actually come out and said, all right, this is our intake, this is how many people we're bringing in, this is the class of visa. There's been no explanation. And Paul Kelly also pointed out that there are two separate issues here, entry policy and security checks, and there's been this deliberate blurring of the lines by Albanese. What do you think about this?
All really good points, Shari. Let's take them in turn. On Paul Kelly's article on the weekend, I agree with you. A very critical point was made by him and also by voices like Dennis Richardson, the former Director General of ASIO, which is that we have both character provisions, which is a matter for government and the Department of Home Affairs, and security risks, which is a matter for ASIO and Mike Burgess and his team. And the bar to cancel someone's visa on character grounds is considerably lower than to cancel their visa on security grounds. To give you one tangible example, the Albanese government has made it pretty clear that they're not going to approve a visa for Candace Owens, someone from the United States who wants to come to Australia on a speaking tour. Now, I'm not a fan of her. I think she's a dangerous anti-Semite and a conspiracy theorist. But she's not a supporter of Hamas or terrorist organisations. She's just an anti-Semite. And on that grounds alone, they are not going to approve her visa. Are we seriously saying among the 3,000 Gaza tourist visas, there are no anti-Semites? Have they even asked? Have they even checked? And this goes to the other issues. I mean, how can you possibly be confident when the interviews didn't take place, when the biometric checks weren't done, when they were just handed out tourist visas so quickly? And if Tony Burke is right that none of these people can be returned, why were they given tourist visas in the first place? A condition of a tourist visa is you are only here to visit temporarily. Clearly, none of these people intend to stay here temporarily.
Yeah, so many questions that the government really needs to front up. It doesn't look like they're going to do that anytime soon. Just before you go, James Patterson, the Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong has given a foreign policy speech today, but she inserted some domestic politics into it. In fact, it's reported that she's going to accuse the Liberal Party of failing to recognise Jakarta's importance, citing Robert Menzies' 1947 criticism of the Chifley Labor government's support for Indonesian independence as the very ecstasy of suicide. Do you think this is appropriate from the Foreign Minister?
It's extraordinary and bizarre that the Foreign Minister would think it's appropriate to revive 70-year-old comments of a dead Prime Minister as a way of attacking Peter Dutton and the Liberal Party today, and to do so in front of invited guests from our region who are our friends. I mean, how does it enhance Australia's national interest to do that? We could all play this game. We could revive Arthur Calwell's comments from a similar era about Asian immigration and use that to attack the Labor Party today. But would that make Australia stronger? Would that enhance our position in a delicately balanced Indo-Pacific? Of course not. And the Foreign Minister, I think, has debased herself today with this partisan attack. She's obviously been inspired by Jim Chalmers, and there's clearly been a message sent out to Labor frontbenchers. Get out there and tear Peter Dutton down, because they've long come to accept there's no way they're going to build Anthony Albanese up. And if you can't build up your own team, all you can do is tear down the other one.
Yeah, there's clearly concern about the momentum that seems to be in Dutton's direction at the moment, judging by the polls. James Patterson, always great to have you on the show. Thank you.